Over the last couple of years, I have become interested in boat wakes from large cargo vessels to recreational boats we find in cottage country. The height and period of vessel-generated waves depends upon the shape, area, and tidal regime of the channel and the design, displacement, speed, and load of the vessel. The wakes generated by a vessel include bow and stern waves, and for very large cargo ships, it can include a drawdown of the water surface, drawdown currents, and propeller wash. When a ship moves through the water, the resistance of the hull creates a disturbance. The primary waves include the bow wave in the front and the stern wave at the end of the vessel. The bow and stern waves are generated by the boat pushing water in front of itself, and that water must return along the sides of the boat and under the boat, the keel, to fill the void left by the ship. The waves generated at the bow and the stern have higher velocities in the vicinity of the hull. This increase in the speed of the water creates a hydrodynamic pressure field that causes the water surface to be depressed, which is called drawdown. The drawdown is greatest in the vicinity of the ship and decreases away from the ship. For a relatively wide channel, the drawdown will be close to the ship, but for narrow channels, the drawdown can extend all the way to the shoreline. Essentially, the amount of drawdown depends on the ratio of the ship cross-sectional area to the cross-sectional area of the channel. The greater the blockage created by the ship, the larger the drawdown and the stronger the currents. Following the drawdown, there is a rise of the water level above the mean level, leading to an inundation of the shoreline. The drawdown and subsequent rise of the water leads to a drawdown current that can move sediment entrained by the bow and stern waves. Large vessels, such as cargo ships, have large drawdown and can generate large stern waves, but generate relatively small bow waves. Small recreational boats have limited to no drawdown, but have much larger bow waves. Whether a cargo ship or a recreational boat, the size of the wave depends on the ratio of the vessel speed to the water depth and the ship length. This ratio is called the Froude number. The wake height is at a maximum when the depth-based Froude number approaches 1 and when the length-based Froude number approaches 0.5. The wake size for recreational boats also varies with the vessel speed. Recreational boats tend to have planing hulls that allow the vessel to ride on top of the water. At low speeds, planing hull boats travel in displacement mode with the bow fully in the water. At these speeds, wake size increases with speed. When planing hull boats are at speed or on plane, wake size decreases, as less of the boat is now in the water. The largest wake is generated when the planing hull vessel transitions from displacement to planing mode. Operating your boat at less than hull speed, about 8 miles per hour for a 10-meter boat, a boat makes very little wake, while operating your boat between displacement and planing modes will create a very large damaging wake. For safety reasons and to reduce wake damage, in Ontario, there is a shoreline speed zone which restricts all power-driven vessels to 10 kilometers per hour or 6 miles per hour within 30 meters or 100 feet of the shore. Larger wakes are also produced by boats towing skiers, tubes, and wakeboarders compared to the same boat when not towing. Due to their size, personal watercraft, or PWCs, generate smaller wave energy compared to a boat operated in a straight line. Although sizable waves can be generated by PWCs turning quickly in circles or running in shallow water close to the shoreline. Whether a cargo ship, a recreational boat, or a PWC, the wave energy decays exponentially away from the sailing line, which means that the height of the wave at the shoreline depends on the distance of the boat offshore and the angle at which the waves propagate away from the sailing line. The decay in wave height occurs through dispersion, frictional dissipation, and breaking at the shoreline. Narrow waterways will experience greater wave energy at the shoreline due to the primary wave train and waves reflected from the opposite shoreline, with the impact to the shoreline dependent on the number of vessels that pass. Based upon recent measurements we took on Whitestone Lake in northern Ontario, boat wakes account for greater than 60% of the total wave energy over a summer. When you account for the wakes that were reflected from adjacent shorelines, boat wakes accounted for greater than 80% of the total wave energy through the summer. This means that recreational boats may be a significant cause to shoreline erosion, damage to shoreline infrastructure, and can alter nearshore habitat. There is a need to better understand the impact of boat wakes.